There is a sacred power in silence, a power that doesn't boast, doesn't parade, and doesn't cry for attention, but builds a fortress so strong that when it finally reveals itself, no force can stand against it. This generation craves visibility. We live in a world where exposure is mistaken for elevation and attention is mistaken for value. But greatness is not born in the spotlight. It is developed in the shadows. You don't build a skyscraper by decorating the top floor. You build it by laying a foundation so deep that it can carry what will one day be seen above the ground. And so I came to tell you today, if you're going to fulfill the vision God has placed in you, if you're going to become everything heaven has assigned you to be, you're going to have to learn to build yourself quietly. You don't need applause to grow. You don't need a stage to start. In fact, the most powerful seasons of your life will be those where nobody is watching, and yet everything within you is expanding. You will read books nobody knows you're reading. You will cry tears in prayer that nobody knows you're shedding. You will make sacrifices that no one will celebrate. But those moments are where destiny is being formed. It is not what people see that determines your future. It's what you do when no one sees. And this is where the quiet builders win. Because they're not driven by attention, they're driven by assignment. They are not fed by praise. They are fueled by purpose. The first way you build yourself quietly is through intentional isolation. You must learn the discipline of withdrawal. There are seasons where God will hide you, not to punish you, but to prepare you. The caterpillar does not become a butterfly on a stage. It is in the darkness of the cocoon that transformation takes place. But too many people break out of the process before they become what they were born to be. Learn to appreciate the hidden place. Learn to value the secret place. In the shadows, you hear God's voice more clearly. In isolation, your identity becomes purified. Not everyone deserves access to your development. Your growth season is sacred. And when you treat it as sacred, it will produce the kind of fruit that builders understand the value of discipline. That's the second way you build, by mastering consistency. You cannot become great by doing something occasionally. You become great by doing small things daily. Discipline is not glamorous, but it is glorious in its results. It's the choice to wake up early when you'd rather sleep. It's the decision to keep reading when you're tired. It's the commitment to practice, to study, to pray, to sow in silence when there's no one clapping. And here's the secret: if you stay consistent in the dark, God will reward you in the light. Heaven always honors hidden faithfulness. Don't let the lack of recognition cause you to lower your standard. Don't confuse silence with insignificance. God is not impressed by performance. He's moved by persistence. Another way you build yourself quietly is by learning. You must feed your mind before you lead with your mouth. Too many people are trying to be seen before they have anything to say. Don't seek to be a voice until you first sat at the feet of wisdom. Read books that stretch your thinking. Listen to teachers who sharpen your discernment. Pursue knowledge like it's gold, because it is. Your mind is the womb of your future, and what you allow to be planted in it will determine what you give birth to. Growth is not accidental. It is intentional. If you're going to rise above average, you must be willing to study while others sleep, grow while others gossip, and prepare while others party. When you're building yourself in private, be careful who surrounds you. That's the fourth way. Guard your associations. You can't walk with chickens and expect to soar like eagles. You must be ruthless with your environment. Not everyone can go where you're going. Some people are distractions in disguise. They applaud you not because they believe in you, but because they want to keep you at their level. Pay attention to who celebrates your discipline, who honors your silence, and who respects your process. Anyone who mocks your growth season doesn't deserve a seat in your harvest season. Sometimes the greatest act of maturity is knowing when to walk alone, because it's better to be alone and aligned with purpose than surrounded and stuck in mediocrity. The fifth way to build yourself quietly is through inner healing. If you do not deal with your wounds in private, they will sabotage your future in public. Emotional brokenness cannot be ignored. You can be gifted, talented, and anointed, but if you're bleeding internally, you'll destroy what you're trying to build. Quiet builders know the power of wholeness. They confront their pain, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. They face their childhood trauma. They forgive the betrayal. They heal from the rejection. They allow God to reach into the deepest places of their hearts, not to expose them, but to restore them. You cannot build anything great on a broken foundation. Your gift may open doors, but your character determines if you can stay in the room. And character is formed through healing. And lastly, you build yourself quietly by cultivating vision. Vision is what gives your sacrifice meaning. It's what keeps you steady when storms come. Vision is not about what you see with your eyes. It's about what you perceive with your spirit. Vision keeps you from being distracted by comparison. When you have a clear picture of where you're going, you don't waste time chasing trends or competing with others. Quiet builders write the vision, make it plain, and run with it. They don't wait for permission. They act with clarity. They don't need validation because they have conviction. Every step they take is aligned with a greater picture. And here's the truth. Vision will always separate you. It will make you different. It will make you misunderstood. But in the end, it will also make you. The world doesn't need more performers. It needs more builders. Builders who are not addicted to attention, but committed to their assignment. Builders who are not looking for applause, but looking for alignment. Builders who are more interested in impact than image. You are not here to impress people. You are here to fulfill purpose. And purpose is never fulfilled in a rush. Take your time. Be deliberate. Let God develop every part of you, because when the time is right, He will reveal what He's been building. And when that moment comes, what you built in silence will speak louder than any shout. Your fruit will silence every critic. Your peace will silence every lie. Your strength will silence every storm. But none of it will happen if you don't first commit to building quietly. You may not feel celebrated right now. You may feel overlooked. You may feel like your work is unnoticed. But let me remind you, God sees what men overlook. He records what others ignore. And He rewards what others forget. He's not interested in public displays of greatness. He's looking for private depth of commitment. The secret to lasting success is hidden development. The secret to spiritual power is private surrender. The secret to influence is internal discipline. Build yourself in a way that the storms of life cannot break you. Build yourself in a way that compromise cannot tempt you. Build yourself in a way that when doors open, you're not just ready. There is a reason diamonds are formed in the dark. There is a reason gold is refined in fire. The most valuable things are never formed in public. So if you're in a season of hiding, embrace it. If you're being pruned, endure it. If you're being stretched, cooperate with it. Don't try to rush the process. Don't try to force exposure. Let God be your promoter. Let integrity be your resume. Let consistency be your message. The spotlight is not the goal, impact is. And impact is birthed in obscurity. Every seed grows underground before it breaks through the soil. Every vision matures in silence before it echoes in influence. And every person truly called to greatness must go through the school of silence. The hidden place is not your prison, it's your preparation. You don't need the world's permission to grow. You don't need the spotlight to matter. You don't need applause to progress. All you need is the commitment to quietly become everything God designed you to be. Day by day, step by step, prayer by prayer, thought by thought, sacrifice by sacrifice, one quiet victory at a time. And when the time comes, what was built in silence will echo across generations. Let them talk, let them doubt, let them question. But you build yourself quietly, because when the time is right, the quiet ones will rise with a roar. Greatness is not born out of noise, but out of stillness. It is not loud in its origin, it is quiet in its cultivation. The most impactful people are often those you've never heard speaking until the day their fruit begins to speak louder than words. They walked among us unnoticed, ignored, sometimes even mocked. But they were building. They were nurturing seeds of discipline, wisdom, and vision while others were dancing under the lights. And when the season of revealing came, the world stood still, trying to figure out how something so powerful came out of nowhere. But it wasn't nowhere, it was quiet preparation. You must understand that when you build quietly, you develop a deeper kind of strength. Not the kind of strength that boasts, but the kind of strength that endures. You develop resilience. The kind that doesn't break when people betray you, the kind that doesn't fold when opportunities delay. Quiet growth develops roots. And roots don't show off, but they are the very thing that holds a tree upright in the storm. What you develop when no one is watching is what sustains you when everyone is. If you fail in the secret place, you will fall in the public place. But if you win in private, there is no platform that can undo your power. But let me speak to the one who feels behind. You feel like others are running ahead of you, making progress, gaining followers, accumulating wealth and recognition. And here you are, still building in silence, still obeying God in the shadows, still investing in your purpose with no audience. I want to tell you, you are not behind. You are being built. There are things in you that take longer to prepare because your impact is not meant to be shallow. You are being crafted to last. You are being trained to lead. You are being developed for dimensions others will never reach. Do not despise the slow, quiet process. That is where the real glory is made. What many people don't understand is that visibility without maturity is a curse. Influence without preparation is a trap. Just because you can be seen does not mean you are ready, and just because you are hidden does not mean you are late. Some people rise quickly but collapse just as fast because they did not take the time to build privately. The pressure of visibility will always expose the cracks in your character. And if you skip the seasons where God tries to fortify you, you will become famous and fragile. A dangerous combination. So thank God for every silent season. Thank Him for every delay. Thank Him for every moment when He said, not yet, because in that waiting, you are growing the weight needed for your destiny. Fire builders also learn something that the loud and restless miss: inner peace. There is a supernatural peace that comes when you are no longer trying to prove anything to anyone. You stop measuring your success by how many people clap or how many people see your work. You start measuring your progress by your own obedience, your own growth, your own alignment with divine timing. Peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the presence of focus. And quiet builders have learned to focus on what matters. They have learned to shut out the noise, shut down the comparison, and focus on the craft, the calling, the character. You don't need to prove your worth to people who can't see your value. You don't have to perform to get a seat at tables that weren't designed for you. What God has for you, He is preparing you for it. And it's better to be over-prepared in silence than to be underdeveloped in a spotlight. Let them underestimate you. Let them overlook you. Let them laugh at your silence. Because soon, your results will speak louder than their opinion. Your excellence will speak louder than their assumptions. Your fruit will speak louder than their predictions. And when it does, they will wonder how it happened so fast, because they never saw how long you were building. There's something sacred about being misunderstood in your building season. Sometimes those closest to you won't understand why you're quiet, why you stopped hanging out, why you're reading more, why you're not posting your every move online, why you're investing in books, courses, prayer, and mentorship instead of chasing clout. It's because you've seen something greater. You've caught a glimpse of your future. You've tasted purpose. And once you taste destiny, distraction loses its flavor. You no longer have time for petty arguments. You don't entertain gossip. You don't waste energy trying to explain yourself. You are too focused on becoming who you were born to be. And when God sees that you can be trusted with silence, He knows He can trust you with influence. Because you won't abuse the stage. You won't idolize the applause. You won't be manipulated by flattery or destroyed by criticism. You'll know who you are before the world tells you who they think you are. Quiet builders are dangerous, not because they're aggressive, but because they are deeply rooted in purpose. They don't react to life, they respond with wisdom. They don't panic in crisis, they pivot with grace. They don't boast in victory, they remain grounded in humility. And that kind of person cannot be easily shaken. But don't think for a second that quiet means passive. Quiet building is the most active kind of building there is. Every day, you are making internal decisions. You are breaking old habits. You are confronting inner fears. You are pushing beyond limitations. You are praying when no one hears you. You are studying when no one tells you to. You are mastering your time. You are managing your emotions. You are stretching your capacity. It's easy to want to skip this phase. The world teaches us to chase overnight success, to broadcast every milestone, to make noise for every small win. But the kingdom doesn't operate by those principles. Heaven's strategy is different. God hides His greatest weapons. He conceals His strongest vessels. He wraps greatness in obscurity. So if you feel hidden, you're in the right place. That's how He prepares you. That's how He sharpens your gifts. That's how He builds your capacity. He isolates you not to punish you, but to forge you. And when He finally reveals you, no man, no system, and no devil in hell can stop what He has built. There will be moments when you feel like quitting, when the silence is too loud, when the discipline is too heavy, when the waiting feels eternal. But those are the moments when your breakthrough is closest. The enemy doesn't fight what isn't a threat. If you're being tested, it's because you're carrying something powerful. If you're under pressure, it's because you're being refined for a greater purpose. Don't give up, keep building. One day at a time, one layer at a time. The vision is speaking even if nobody hears it yet. The dream is alive even if it looks buried. The purpose is real even if it hasn't fully manifested. When you build quietly, you learn to rely on God more than on people. You realize that your help doesn't come from followers, likes, connections, or platforms. It comes from above. And that's where your strength is renewed. That's where your faith is strengthened. That's where your confidence is restored. When you stop depending on human approval, you tap into divine backing. And when heaven backs you, you don't need to shout, you just need to show up. Every giant was once a shepherd. Every leader was once a servant. Every visionary was once unseen. Every prophet was once rejected. Every reformer was once alone. So don't resist the quiet path. Embrace it. Let it shape you. Let it prune you. Let it mature you. Because one day when the moment comes, you won't need to announce yourself. Your work will speak. Your presence will shift atmospheres. Your words will carry weight. Your fruit will confirm your authenticity. And it will be undeniable, not because you forced it, but because you were faithful. The most powerful version of you will not be the one who is the most celebrated. It will be the one who is the most surrendered. It will be the one who took the time to grow when no one was watching, the one who didn't rush the process, the one who didn't need the crowd to keep going, the one who trusted the vision even in the valley. That version of you is being built right now, in the silence, in the shadows, in the sacred stillness of discipline and prayer. So today, recommit yourself to the process. Don't chase noise, pursue depth. Don't demand recognition, seek revelation. Don't beg to be seen, ask to be developed. Because when you are built the right way, no storm can uproot you, no lie can destroy you, and no delay can discourage you. You are becoming everything you were born to be, quietly but powerfully. Build yourself in such a way that when you finally speak, even your silence before that moment makes sense. Keep building even when no one notices. Keep building even when it hurts. Keep building even when it's lonely. Because when the foundation is finished and the structure stands tall, the same people who ignored you will look up and wonder how it happened. And you'll know it happened because you chose to build yourself quietly. And as you continue to build quietly, there is something else that begins to develop within you. Authority. Not the kind of authority that comes from a title or position, but the kind of authority that flows from experience and endurance. Real authority is born from what you've overcome. It's not about how many people listen to you. It's about how deeply your words carry weight because they were birthed out of silence, pain, prayer, and perseverance. When you've gone through the fire without announcing the flames, when you've stood in the storm without crying out for attention, when you've grown in the dark without demanding light, you earn a voice that heaven honors and hell fears. This is the kind of authority that comes from building yourself quietly. There's something powerful about the person who knows what they carry, even when others don't recognize it. That quiet confidence, that steady spirit, that unshakable focus. That's what makes you dangerous in the spirit. Because you are no longer moved by noise, no longer distracted by trends, no longer seduced by fame. You are rooted. And a rooted person can weather any climate. You understand now that your foundation was never meant to be glamorous. It was meant to be strong. The world may not celebrate your preparation, but your destiny depends on it. So the quiet seasons are God's mercy. The hidden seasons are not punishment, they are protection. He is shielding you from exposure before you are ready. He is keeping you from applause that would have inflated your ego before your humility was developed. He is guarding you from premature platforms that would have fed your pride instead of your purpose. Don't rush out of what God is using to make you. If he hasn't opened the door yet, it's because he's still fortifying the person who's going to walk through it. And when that door finally swings open, you will walk through with wisdom, not arrogance, with grace, not desperation, with clarity. Building not quietly confusion. Also trains your discernment. When you're not busy trying to impress others, you become more sensitive to what actually matters. You begin to see beyond the surface. You stop chasing what's popular and start pursuing what's powerful. You recognize divine moments. You know when to speak and when to be silent. You begin to discern people, not just by what they say, but by the spirit they carry. That discernment becomes your defense. It protects your peace, your time, and your energy. It keeps you focused on your assignment. And that kind of focus is rare. That kind of discernment is dangerous because it makes you immune to distractions and resistant to manipulation. You begin to understand that success is not just about progress, but about direction. It's not how fast you're moving, it's whether you're moving in alignment with your purpose. And sometimes God will slow you down and make sure you don't succeed in the wrong direction. He will disrupt your plans to preserve your destiny. He will close doors you wanted open because those doors lead to places your character isn't supposed to survive. Quiet building teaches you to trust that kind of divine interruption. It trains you to see closed doors not as rejections, but as redirections. It teaches you that delay is not denial, it's preparation for what your soul isn't ready for yet. You also learn how to stand alone, and that, my friend, is one of the most powerful lessons you can ever learn. Because if you cannot walk alone in preparation, you won't be able to lead others in purpose. There will be seasons when nobody understands your vision. There will be days when you feel isolated, abandoned, misunderstood. But that isolation is strategic. That solitude is sacred. It is in that space that your identity is refined. It is in those lonely places that you encounter God in ways that crowd will never allow. It is in those quiet moments that you are reminded who called you and why you started. You are not alone. You are being set apart. And the truth is, not everyone is supposed to go where you're going. Some people are seasonal. Some were only assigned to a part of your journey, and when their time is up, let them go with grace. Don't try to drag people into your future who are no longer aligned with your growth. Quiet building will show you who is truly for you. It will reveal who can walk with you in silence, not just celebrate you in success. And when the noise fades, you will see who remains. Those are the ones who love the builder, not just the building. Honor them, but do not chase those who were never meant to finish the race with you. There's another blessing that comes with building in silence. You learn how to hear God clearly. When the world is quiet, your spirit becomes sensitive. When distractions are minimized, direction becomes clearer. God is always speaking, but sometimes we are too noisy to hear him. The stillness of quiet seasons is not a void, it is a classroom. It is where he downloads strategies, visions, and ideas that will shift generation. It is where he whispers instructions that will unlock doors you didn't even know existed. If you will embrace the stillness, you will receive the secrets, and what is birthed in that secret place will bless the public space in ways you can't even imagine. In purpose. And purpose is what sustains you when platforms change, when people change, when seasons change. Purpose doesn't just give you something to do. It gives you a reason to endure. This kind of life doesn't happen by accident. It is the result of intentional decisions made day by day, moment by moment. It is choosing discipline over comfort. It is choosing vision over entertainment. It is choosing truth over trend. It is choosing to remain faithful even when you don't feel fruitful. It is choosing to believe that what you're building in silence is bigger than what the world is shouting in noise. And if you stay faithful to the process, if you keep showing up when no one claps, if you keep praying when no one sees, if you keep working when no one helps, one day the very thing you built in silence will become the testimony that sets others free. Don't just build something that looks good, build something that lasts. Don't just chase popularity, chase purpose. Don't just seek visibility, seek value. The world doesn't need more noise. The world needs more substance, and that substance is developed in silence. What you are doing in secret is not small. What you are becoming in private is not wasted. Every step, every prayer, every late night of planning, every early morning of discipline, it's all working together. Heaven is watching, destiny is waiting, and your future is unfolding. Keep going, keep building quietly, steadily, faithfully, because when it's time, the quiet builder will rise, and no one will be able to deny what God has done through you, not because you shouted, not because you performed, but because you were faithful in the silence. So hear this in your spirit. Your quiet season is not a wasted season. What you're building away from the spotlight is preparing you for a life that will not crumble when the storms come. Every hidden prayer, every unseen effort, every unnoticed sacrifice is not in vain. You are not behind. You are being built, not for the applause of men, but for the approval of God. You are not being delayed. You are being developed, not for a moment of success, but for a lifetime of significance.